Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. All right, today we are going to be focusing on the primaries from March 19th. We have very important primaries. Going to be focusing on the state of Arizona today. Arizona has called it for Biden, 89.5%. This is not a surprise, as you know, no uncommitted option, unfortunately, in the said race. So we also saw Marianne Williamson getting 3.5%, 13,000 votes, almost 14,000. But this race has been called for Joe Biden, 81% in. It does take a while for Arizona to count the votes because Arizona is a very awkward system of voting. And of course, in the last 2 years, we've seen that the state of Arizona has a hard time when it comes to their voting machines. I don't know what the problem is. Hopefully, voting machines are working today. They should be working yesterday. It's really in those general elections when they have a hard time when they're suddenly malfunctioning, and I think that's not a coincidence, if you ask me. So really, there, every state, even including Arizona, should make sure that by law, voting machines must always be accurate and operating the correct way in order to prevent a fraudulent election. So that is my concern there, and the integrity when it comes to that. So yes, Joe Biden has been declared the winner. This should be bolded. So, and he has indeed won 72 delegates. He has not, most likely will carry the rest. Marianne Williamson hasn't carried any delegates. So the question is, yes, 72 have been pledged, 13 unpledged. And regardless, these 85 delegates, they're going straight to the national convention. As you'll see, which county did Biden do very well in? Well, you'll see people went out and actually voted for Biden. Why? Because actually, people aren't going to show up and vote for Trump because Trump is running against nobody. He's running against nobody. And there's literally no point in voting for Trump. Sure, there's Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and all these other former candidates. They're on the ballot. But the point is, Donald Trump is the only one on the ballot that's still in the race. So really, there's none of those options to vote for. So yes, you'll see Biden performed very well, as you know, in the Phoenix area. I'll say Maricopa. It wasn't really the center of Phoenix, though. He mainly performed best in the West, in Western Phoenix. Same thing with Tucson. I remember that for a couple videos ago. Tucson, 90% in Pima County. Santa Cruz County, 84%. Cochise County, 88%. Graham County, 83%. Then we have Greenlee. And now, the smaller the circles, the lesser of the people, the less of the votes. In Greenlee County, only 285 people voted. And Jason Palmer and Dean Phillips, they tied, both getting 4% of the popular vote and 13 votes each. Gila County, or Gila, I don't know what it is, but 87%, along with Apache, which is 78%, Navajo, 80%, Coconino, 86%, Mojave, 91%, La Paz, 86%, and finally, we haven't done this one yet, but Yuma County, 83%. And if not covered, Pinal County, I think we already covered you. 73% of the votes are in. Pinal, 91% for Biden. But yes, this is a very impressive victory, although let's credit to Biden, Marianne Williamson continues not to stand a chance, and Gene Phillips proves overall how weak he is in the Democratic Party. If he's actually running for a presidential election, he'd probably lose straight out. Because first off, the Democrats can't unite under him. They call him far right. Well, clearly he isn't, and just his views are not totally committed to the Democratic Party, and they're going to call him out as a MAGA Republican because he attended Trump rallies, and he calls himself America First. He's sort of like John Fetterman in a way, but yes, he would definitely say America First is a good agenda, and that's what the Democrats really don't cannot stand. So this is the results here. We have 89.5% of the popular vote going in for Joe Biden. Let's take a look at the Republican primary. We actually got a map from Wikipedia. So last time I checked, so let's take a look at that. 77%, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, he should have got to 90%, which comes to show that, yeah, look at 100,000 people voted for Nikki Haley. That's the frustrating part. So, really bad turnout for the Republicans in Arizona. Disappointing. And most of those votes, they came from Maricopa, they came from Pinal, and Coconino. But guess what? Those counties, I mean, Pinal and, oh no, that's Pima. Pima and Coconino counties, very liberal. Of course, that's where Flagstaff and Tucson are located. So everyone's talking about Arizona. Good news once again. Donald Trump taking 43 delegates. Nikki Haley, 0. But why in the righteous mind would you waste your time? Go out and vote for a woman who dropped out. 114,000 people. Really? She's not going to become president. Period. Some people think if Trump happens to get arrested, or if Trump, or if something happens to Trump where he's ineligible to run out of the sudden, Nikki Haley is going to take over. No! Well, maybe she'll claim some delegates, but I can guarantee you, she's not going to be the president. She has got, let's see, 94 delegates to the national convention. She is done. And plus, she didn't even carry any county. Trump carried every county in Arizona 80 to 70%. 80, 70 to 90%. I'm hoping Donald Trump crosses into 80%, past that 80% threshold, because 77 is bad, especially if you're the only one in the race. I expect much, much more. Much more from Mr. Trump. He's running against nobody. You have Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis. They're all on the ballot, but that doesn't change the reality. People look at them and see them on the ballot, and they go, "Oh, they must join the race again." No. Do you think people are going to waste their time to suddenly? We can't just remove their names on every single ballot. That's unrealistic. That's a waste of time. They have lives. They have lives too. We're not going to, as you know, literally drag out the votes on that. No. Seriously. The ballots don't change. She withdrew. Like, we can't even put down withdrew by the ballot measure. So technically, you're still in the race, Haley. But people with the common sense brain to put the puzzle piece together will understand that Nikki Haley's not running. Asa Hutchinson's not running. Ron DeSantis isn't running. Chris Christie isn't running. Vivek Ramaswamy isn't running. They withdrew. They withdrew. They're done. But nevertheless, 77%. And once again, this could be another case of Arizona ballot machine fumbling. You know how it is. It happened in 2020 and it happened in 2022. It probably happened again in 2024. Trump will probably gain more. This is Trump country. The Arizona Republican Party is strongly solidified to Trump. So yeah, I'm predicting the remaining 35% is going to probably go to Donald. I'm really hoping that Donald Trump gets the 90%. Regardless, if that changes, great. Great. But if we can't even get to 80%, we probably will, okay? Because we're just 75. But yeah, we're probably going to win. We're probably going to be doing fine. But I'm just saying, if it stays at 77%, that's something to be worried about. That's something to be concerned about. All right. So, what do you guys think? We're going to cover the remaining races. We have Saturday, the Louisiana and Missouri races to cover. We're going to be covering those on Sunday. But what are your thoughts? Anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next political episode.